What is it like to be afraid?
Scary is always subjective, but we love a good interactive near-death experience and respect the masters of this terrifying craft so much, we couldn't help but recount our most chilling memories once again. We tried to stick to genuine terror over popularity or historical significance. What games do we actually still dread playing? What games require at least one more person to be in the room with us? These are the thrillers that still get us good.
Daddy, no!
Number 10.
I know how you must feel. Lost. Alone. Hopeless. You probably deserve it.
Embracing psychological horror, Layers of Fear explores the mind of a painter who's gone mad. Taking place in a Victorian-era mansion, players traverse its large and ever-changing interior while uncovering more of the painter's disturbing past. Navigating from room to room feels like a constant test of courage thanks to the horrific paintings that litter the mansion walls and the eerie voices that echo throughout your mind. Your reality is constantly trapping or forcing you in another direction to throw off your expectations. It's a terrifying journey that's truly the painter's magnum opus.
Number 9.
What makes a horror game special is how vulnerable it can make you feel. Fatal Frame 2 certainly abides by that belief. The spirits haunting the lost village where the game takes place can quite literally come from anywhere, including through the walls, and that ability to surprise is played with time and again. Your only way to fend off these poor souls is through the camera obscura, snapping pictures at just the right moment. Of course, these opportune photos are never from a nice, safe distance, but instead right in the face of terror itself, dealing with the chilling whispers, sobs, and screams from the spirits in the process. Yet the most deeply affecting and lasting aspects of the game come from the story itself, which chillingly shows that sometimes the most torturous relationships are with the people we care about the most.
Number 8.
Oh, it's you.
The fear instilled by Silent Hill 2 is less about jump scares and more about a slow and creeping dread. The twisted psychology of the punishing town moves in like a fog and seeps deep into the mind, leaving you haunted by distant fears and half-remembered transgressions. It's one of the most personal tales in the series, and every friend you try to make has their own horrors to deal with. Silent Hill is a place that changes to punish the person based on their own guilt, and it makes them ask the scariest question of all: what if I really do deserve this?
James, honey, did something happen to you?
Number 7.
Okay, I will. This can't be happening!
The most shocking moments of Eternal Darkness come primarily from its sanity system. As each character sees walking corpses and other monstrosities, they progressively go more insane. They see blood dripping from the ceiling, hear voices, and begin muttering to themselves. As things get worse, more powerful hallucinations appear. A healing spell may actually kill you. You may find yourself hopelessly surrounded by enemies, or you may encounter moments targeted toward you as a player as the TV suddenly shuts off, or everything disappears from your inventory. The reason these are so effective is that Eternal Darkness is constantly getting in your head. Cameras subtly shift to unsettling angles. Tight corridors prevent you from swinging your sword, and the creepy audio design includes indistinct whispers, cries, and sudden knocks at the door. Once this pervasive atmosphere sinks in, you're perfectly primed for one of the game's cruel tricks.
Number 6.
The remake of Resident Evil evolved better than most, turning a game that was scary for its time into an experience that will be scary for all time. Keeping most of the mansion blueprints and mission objectives, the biggest changes make the game more shocking and aggressive. Zombies you don't burn rise up as savage crimson heads, and a few jump scares are shuffled around to keep things tense for fans. The tortured Lisa Trevor steals the show and represents all the horrors committed by man that have brought about the tragic events of the game. Even with fixed camera angles, the backdrops are vivid and absorbing. It's a nightmare we keep reliving over and over.
Number 5!
Warning. Medical facility quarantine breach detected.
One of the scariest monsters ever conceived is brought to life like never before in Alien Isolation. Intelligent AI powers the xenomorph as it patiently stalks you through the dark and moody halls of Sevastopol Station before inevitably biting your face off. Isolation is drenched in atmosphere, employing a lo-fi look that honors the original film's legacy. The alien isn't the only hazard to contend with, however, as androids with murderous intent will unnerve even the most hardened survival horror enthusiast.
Number 4!
Returning to the series' roots, Resident Evil 7 brings back the intimate encounters, slow-paced puzzles, and sense of exploration that made the franchise famous. Exploring the Baker estate is a terrifying venture thanks to the game's eerie atmosphere and the hideous creatures that stalk its grounds. The Baker family themselves also offer up some of the most disturbing and heart-pounding moments, particularly the father of the house, Jack. Those who are feeling extra courageous can also play the game in VR. It provides a nice sense of scale and realism that can make even the most tame moments feel like larger-than-life encounters.
You really shouldn't have come here.
Go tell and Rody that everybody's
Number 3!
Amnesia: The Dark Descent follows the plight of the amnesiac Daniel as he travels into a foreboding castle at the behest of a letter which he himself wrote, informing him that he erased his own memory intentionally. He's being hunted by a monster and must kill the castle's baron, Alexander. Daniel's sanity suffers when in darkness or when confronted with the sight of a monster, more reasons to stay away from anything that looks or sounds like a threat. He has no weapons and limited resources to stave off the ever-deepening dark as he's hunted by monsters and his own wicked past. This sense of helplessness really fries our nerves, and the incredible sound keeps our feet carrying us far away from danger.
Number 2!
What's most remarkable about PT is that the very brief teaser still holds so much of its horrific power, more than 4 years after it came out and shocked everyone. Although it mostly takes place in nothing more than a simple L-shaped corridor, it uses the claustrophobic and eventually intimately familiar setting to its advantage. Every single aspect of the harrowing experience burrows into you bit by bit at sharply different intensities. The convoluted and abstract nature of the whole thing isn't just for show, but rather gets increasingly uncomfortable and disorienting, making you doubt just about everything you see. Although we will never know the full extent of what could have been, and that fact is lamented to death, PT is still a remarkably gripping reminder of how terrifying games can be, especially when they're willing to go further than just about everything else.
Number 1!
Some may scoff at cheap tricks like jump scares, but there is no denying their effectiveness. As Outlast uses them masterfully in tandem with menacing sound design. The reliance on nothing but your handheld camera is a stressful ordeal in battery management that forces you to scavenge, think, and stay calm within the hostile environment. Using its night vision to see the sinister glint in encroaching enemies' eyes within thick, foreboding darkness is a sight capable of burning into your memory. With no way to fight back, the only option is to run and hide, offering chilling moments of slow-burning tension to complement the more extreme moments of heart-pounding terror. The expansion Whistleblower deserves a mention as it not only fleshes out the story in meaningful ways, but finds new tactics to properly catch you off guard. While we may curse at this game on occasion, we have to admit, it still really scares us. Easy Allies create shows, podcasts, reviews, and more thanks to generous viewers just like you. If you like what you see, check out patreon.com/easyallies to help us make more. For just $1 a month, you can gain access to weekly updates, spoiler discussions, and exclusive shows.